transportation, kept our families and our friends safe, oh God, provided resources for us, oh God, woke us up this morning in our right mind, oh God. God, we've been again to ourselves. We come to celebrate you this morning and to tell you thank you for just being so good to us, for being better than good to us, because when we look back on all the mistakes we've made and continue to make, but you continue to reach beyond our faults and meet every one of our needs, and God, we tell you thank you. Take my mind and hold it steady. Keep my health in the hollow of your hand, that your people may be edified. And we promise before we leave this place, we'll glorify your name. We'll magnify your name. We'll lift you up. We'll exalt you because of how awesome you have been to us. And it's in the name of Jesus we pray this prayer. Let all our children say amen. Come on, one more time. All over the sanctuary. Bless the Lord. Slaves and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his own ability, and he went on his journey. Immediately, one who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them and gained 5 more talents. Same manner, the one who had received the 2 talents gained 2 more, but he who received 1 talent went away and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. Just a few scattered moments we want to use for a thought this morning with it later. What have you done with it lately? My memory serves me correctly. Around this time last year, I was visiting PNC Bank branch in Twinsburg, where I normally go to conduct my business. I remember because it was around Memorial Day, and everyone in the branch seemed to be in an even better mood than usual as a result of the holiday approaching and the good weather that we were having. Even the other customers that were standing in line and waiting to be serviced seemed more polite and friendly. Something about the thought of good weather, holidays, barbecue, and a few paid days off that would change a person's mood. I'm standing at the counter being assisted by Prince, a full-time teller who knew me along with pretty much everyone else in the branch because I frequented so often throughout the month. I asked him, did he have any special plans for the holiday? He responds, no, not this time. He planned to attend a cookout with some friends, and his words, just chill. He then proceeds to tell me that he was saving all his money for a trip back home to Africa that he would take later that year to visit his family. The fact that he hadn't been there in 5 years explained the expression of excitement and anticipation that appeared on his face as we were conversing. Prince then transitioned the conversation and tells me soon after his visit with his family in Africa, he would be going on another vacation to Hong Kong with some friends. Now I'm excited. Hong Kong. As I genuinely celebrate him and tell him, man, that's what's up. I'm thinking in my mind, Hong Kong? You going to Hong Kong? I'm actually now calculating on the fingers how much that would cost. See if I can save up a few pennies to join him and his friends. Prince, while counting the money in his drawer, looks up and says, yes, my friend, bought me a gift, a high-tech digital camera, and I want to use it, don't miss this, as much as I can before my youth runs out so that her investment would not be wasted. Brothers and sisters, it was that dialogue with an African PNC bank teller that helps us italicize the urgency of today's thesis. What have you done with it lately? That is a question that I believe God intended for us to rehearse in our heart and mind, not just for a season, but for the longevity of our lives. Never becoming complacent, satisfied, the feeling that you've done enough, that there is no room for the exercising of what you have to offer, what you bring to the table, the ability of your gift. Yes. God is not so much concerned with your age, the depth of your theological understanding, your status in society, the continued list of mistakes, your physical ability, emotions, or even opportunity. But God loves us so much that has the fulfilling of your gift, hear me, intrigued anybody to try Jesus? Impacted someone's life for the better? Made a difference somewhere? Assisted in the growth of someone or something? Has the fulfilling of your gift expanded somebody's testimony of how good God is? I know it's a tough question we almost swallow, but where can God find the mark of your gift in the world? What is the gift, you say? Supernatural ability that is solely the truth. We learn the seriousness of being good stewards over the gift God has blessed us with. In this Growing in God series, we've dealt with growing in our worship. Last week we talked about it. The Bible says, verse 14, for the kingdom of heaven is a man traveling into a far country, called his own servants, and delivered unto them his goods. Kingdom of heaven. Watch how Jesus opens up by continuing to teach about the kingdom of heaven. Theologians argue that he is not referring to the precinct of God's demand, heaven, but rather the visible embodiment of those who confess, belong, and God says, for the kingdom of heaven is a man traveling into a far country. This man depicted in this parable is leaving for a considerable amount of time and wants to make sure his investments, ascension, and his return has granted us all a measure of opportunity to work and benefit the body of Christ with our gifts. It's right there in the text. It teaches us that we are employed servants of the great Redeemer. Verse 14 not only highlights the blessing of the gift, but also the trust he has for us and the time he has allotted. Bible goes on to say around verse 15, and until one he gave 5 talents, to another several ability, and straightway took his journey. That word talent in its original language suggests something that has weighted value. In context, a wealthy person would own slaves that were educated and skilled. In many cases like these would act as what we now call a power of attorney. While the master was absent, they handled the assets and business operations. This illustrates for us today the organized church, composed of us who by way of Calvary, confession, and belief belong to him. This is a reputation of the local assembly. The Bible then says, one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1. Don't get so hung up on the number, because see, the number of talents represents the broad realm of obligation, not so much the skill set or the relationship, if you will, between the master and the slaves. In other words, he wasn't playing favoritism. He says he gave one 5 talents, another 2, another 1. And this is a pivotal point in our text this morning, because doesn't it blow your mind that the God of creation has entrusted you and I with such an awesome responsibility, watch this, that should never be taken lightly. Never taken lightly. You are not just an usher. You're not just a choir member, a teacher, a deacon, a preacher. You're not just a musician or a trustee. You don't just belong to Eastview. You don't just work on the tech team or teach Sunday school or VBS. You don't just do church announcements, work with outreach. You don't just clean the church and make sure the mics are set up. You don't just take notes at church meetings. You don't just organize the church list. You don't just pray for altar call or create budgets. You don't just lead council meetings or coordinate church business. What you do is special. It's valuable. It's needed. It's appreciated. God, yes sir. The service. He says, to one I gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. Bible then says that every man according to his several ability. The master knew much. Church, that's why we should all mind our business when it comes to the responsibilities of someone else. Because folks will always try and tell you what you need to do and how you need to do it. They'll suggest, if it was me, I'd sing it this way. Or I'd preach it like this. I'd do it this way. I'd have this going like this. I'd rearrange that. I'd change this and that. If it was me, if it was me, if it was me. Well, let me help you out this morning. Excuse is, you should be glad that it's not you, because you are built to walk in my shoes. You see the assumed glamour of my responsibility, but you have no idea the weight of my gift that I'm carrying. Matter of fact, if you don't mind, do me one favor and look at your neighbor with a real big smile on your face and say, neighbor, I don't mean to be rude, but mind your business. God gave me this gift for this season because he knew I could handle it. He prepared my shoulders to handle this gift. And it might not be your gift, and your gift might not be my gift. You might not be able to preach like me, and I can't usher like you. You can't preach like me, and I can't sing like them. We've all got a gift that God has given us to exercise, and we have to learn how to stop standing for one another's soul and offending people because we're trying to get them to do what we think is best when you have no idea God has already prepared them to handle the gift. He prepared you to handle the gift. he also gained another two. He that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. Traded. That word traded carries the connotation that he conducted business over a period of time. He invested what he was given. Bible then says one that received 1 talent, he went and Bible says digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. As a result to no vaults or banks, this was actually common practice in their context. Two of the men seemed to understand that the master expected profitability and that their gift was to maneuver in such a way that it created dividends. He never gives them, watch this, he never gives them a specific blueprint on how to multiply what they have been given, but he sovereignly leaves the creativity to them. That's a good place to tell God thank you. Because he does not micromanage our gift, but he leaves the creativity and the uniqueness and the imagination of ours to be able to exercise the gift. And the reason why I said that's a good place to tell God thank you, because that lets us know that it's not a dictatorship, but it's a relationship. I don't know about you, I don't want to serve a dictator. I would rather much serve a loving God who I am in relationship with. Third gentleman seemed to be clueless of the nature of his responsibility. This is where we find this week's tension or controversy in the text. Why? The other two men went and invested what they had been given. For some reason, this third gentleman didn't get the memo. There are some questions we must raise. Was it the lack of relationship? Was it the fear of risk-taking that he was so afraid of investing that he might lose the little he already had? Or was it jealousy because one had been given 5, one had been given 2, and the other, him, was only given 1? Child of God, this faithless slave, hear me, doesn't represent pagans, atheists, or agnostics, but those who profess Christ, us. He's not someone who is depicted to be out of relationship with Christ. He's depicted in this parable to be a part of the church. And this implies that these are all personal questions that we must acknowledge and confront so that we can reach the full potential God sees in us. We can't just skip over the fact that some of us are afraid to exercise our gift. We can't just hop over the conclusion that many of us might not understand what our gift is. But that's why, so that we will not do as this third slave has done, we must answer these questions. Because God sees potential in your gift. That's why he gave it to you in the first place. Bible then says, after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. After a long time. Just as Jesus states that his second coming will be at a time that is not expected, this master pops back into town unexpectedly. He returns asking for a stewardship report. Watch this. Remember, this is a parable. He expects when he returns to see productivity across the board. Productivity. Bible then tells us, verses 20 through 23, so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou delivered unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou unto the joy of the Lord. Second one then comes and says the same thing. Master responds, his Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. These servants, with different verbiage, echo the same sentiments of 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verses 6 through 8, which reads, for I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day. And not only to me, but unto all them also that love his appearing. The servants were both celebrated and rewarded with greater responsibilities. Now, I understand, I see the confusion on your face. You're trying to see, how did you connect 2 Timothy chapter 4 to this parable in Matthew chapter 25? Now, remember, this is a parable that gives or that depicts what we should be doing in the meantime. And when this master shows back up on the scene, those two slaves have done a good job. They've been faithful over a few things. And not the same verbiage, but they echo the same sentiments of 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 6 through 8. I'll read it again now that you've got it. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I've taken the 5 talents you've given me, and I've invested in them. I have finished my course. I didn't dig a hole and put the gift that you gave me in the earth, but I put them to use and make profit of what you have given me. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day. Not only to me, but unto them also that love his appearing. God, this teaches us that directly attached to reward, both in the earth and in heaven. It's right there in the text. He tells both slaves, enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. This joy is divine joy. The same joy that empowered Jesus to endure ought therefore to have put my is shown. As he completely overlooks his obligation of stewardship. Obligation of stewardship. Obligation of stewardship. Who believed in him and he does nothing. Child of God, verses 24 through 30 suggesting, I'm done, that God has richly, don't miss this, endowed us all with gifts that shouldn't be ignored or casually hung as ornaments on a Christmas tree. These gifts are investments strategically used to gain glory for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Jump on the wall and do nothing. God is not shy of removing gifts and assigning opportunities and blessings to someone else who don't mind being faithful. By forsaking the fruitfulness of our gifts, we miss an opportunity to be profitable concerning something that he so lovingly gave us. John Greenleaf Whitaker, in his poem, Maud Mother, summarizes his entire thesis. He says, for all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these. It might have been. In other words, to leave as a result of you burying something that should have come alive is pitiful. It's sad. This slave represented someone who professed Christ but isn't fully committed, partly living. And the consequence of such living is right there in verse 30. The vacancy of God's presence. What could be if you were faithful or a good steward over your gift? How many people could accept Jesus Christ as Lord? Yes. What impact could you make on your community, on your street, your neighborhood? Yes. How many co-workers, family members, or friends could you assist in changing the trajectory of their life if you're simply faithful over your gift? Not trying to manage somebody else's gift, but concerned and prioritizing the gift that God has given you. How many people could hear not really exercising your gift? You may be one of those, well, I've served the Lord for 25 years. I've got news for you. If he keeps you here, you should be serving another 25 years. There is no retirement date on Christian service. It is not until God allows you to transition from this world until eternity decides to work here to produce your best and do something. We're good for complaining about what should be done. Blaming the devil and the government and those knuckleheads around the corner. What are you doing? And please hear me, I'm asking myself the same question. We can all do more. We can all invest more. We can all tarry a little bit longer. And as I stated earlier in the message, it has nothing to do with your age. Nothing to do with your physical ability. If you've been in church all your life, if you just accepted Christ last week as your personal Savior, those details don't matter. And from this day forward, I challenge you, as we continue to grow in God together, to work on being a good steward. Some people think that my ministry starts and stops here. In actuality, it only begins here. You receive training and discipleship. Today is a good day. He died and God raised him from the dead. The Bible says, you shall be saved. As we always reiterate, that's the starting point. Entering into a relationship with God. And as the musician plays, you're sitting there maybe contemplating. Satan